Hello, I'm Charlie, and the main idea of my project, or I would say my main goal, was to produce sound in the computer by using code. More specifically, in a C file to write code, right? And from there, make that code order the audio device inside of the computer to play sound. So that was my main goal, right? But I cannot do that in a Windows machine, but I can do it in an Ubuntu machine. And because of that, I needed to somehow make my computer have Ubuntu instead of Windows, because my computer originally has Windows. And so in order to do that, I needed to download a virtual machine, right? But I'm going to explain that later. As of now, I'm going to talk about my general design. So I will summarize my general design into 3 steps instead of the 23 steps that I wrote on my file, on the project file, right? So the 3 main steps are: the first one, to download the virtual machine and set it up; the second one, to download an Ubuntu ISO file which has the operating system and then set it up in here in VirtualBox; and then the third one would be to actually write the code in a C file, which you will be able to see it in here if I type in this, which. So yeah, those are the 3 main steps that I follow, right? And those are the steps that make. And before talking about my main contribution, I want to talk a little bit about the project file that I sent. So for this one, I know it's very long, it's over 2,000 words, but the reason it got that long is because I added like steps that you can follow in case you also want to produce like sound in your computer. They are like very detailed, by the way, and I also like included images, right? Just in case you get lost, because I know it's easy to like get confused, to make anybody confused when you start like listing steps. But yeah, so this is why my code got, my project file got like really long. But if I were you, I would just like read like these paragraphs, like the first ones. Those are the ones that have like the citations, that require citations, right? But if you are interested, you're more than welcome to read like all these steps, right? But yeah. And now coming back to actually my my presentation. So my main contribution would be like writing this function. Like the code contains like several functions. The main one is that one, play chord. This is because this code allows me to an entire chord, I mean, yeah. And it has like several parameters that I can pass it in. Depending on the parameter that I pass in, this function will do different things, but it will still be playing chords, right? So this one's signal, it just gets signal is just like a variable that contains like a 2D array. It's like a 2D list that has like information about a wave, right? I need that information in order to produce a chord, right? So that's why this variable is in here, or parameter, I would say. And this second parameter is the chord name, like which chord you want to play. You might play the C chord, the E chord, G chord, whatever, right? And then here's index to save. This variable is not important for acoustic purposes, but is more important for coding purposes, right? But yeah. And then here it's number of notes, how many notes I want to play within that chord. I could play 4, 8, whatever I want, but I just set it up to 4, right? Then is inversion, like where you want your chord to start at. It could start from C, or it could start from an E, you know? Like if I have the C chord, it has C, E, G, I could start in an E instead, and I could have like E, G, C, right? And then and this parameter is an octave, right? Which tells me like which octave you want to play your chord at. You could play a C chord that starts from a C4, or a C chord that starts from a C7, right? So yeah. And now I'm gonna demonstrate the actual, like what my code actually does, like the sound that it produces. Just gonna go to this line would be the most important one the most important part of my code. So here I'm telling the computer to produce the C chord, play four notes within that chord, make the zero inversion, and then play starting from C5, right? And so here I'm gonna demonstrate how it sounds actually. Play signal. And just to demonstrate that my code differs, like the different things, and not only plays a C chord, I'm gonna change this to an F, and you're gonna hear the difference. You're gonna hear an F4 now. There we go. Now I'm gonna change it one more time. I'm gonna put a G and you're gonna hear it different. You're gonna start, if you were to synthesize all of these chords, music, right, technically. But yeah, and now I'm gonna manipulate a different thing. Now I'm gonna, four notes within the chord, I'm gonna play two. You're gonna hear a difference. Then I'm gonna come back. Now I'm gonna manipulate another variable. I'm gonna play the first inversion. And this part might actually sound like a little weird. I think I have like a bug or something. That note you can hear is very high. There's probably like a problem with the wave still in there. But yeah, by the way, this code took me like so long, like you cannot imagine. Of these little bugs, like it takes hours to be honest, but yeah, and still I find bugs. But yeah, and now instead of playing the fifth chord, I'm gonna play the third chord, and now you're gonna hear it lower. So as you can see, this function can do a lot of things with the sound, but even then you can still do more things, like you can, but yeah, and this is my whole are also my final results. And yep.